Do you want to learn how to use and 3-star with the Pekka Hogs attack? Well, this guide has got you covered, from base identification to how you guys can use your hogs and heal spells. With that being said, let's jump straight into the guide. So you're here to learn how you guys can use the Pekka Hogs attack strategy at Town Hall 10. Well, this guide has got you covered. Now, this attack is the strongest hog attack strategy at Town Hall 10. It is by far one of the strongest. And I've heard from comments before on other videos I've made on this attack that it works super well for those guys, and they are just having a blast using it. So this is a strategy that is almost a must learn here at Town Hall 10. 100% I guarantee that this is definitely going to be a hog attack that you will never forget, and you may even want to try it out at Town Hall 11. Maybe at some point I'll be able to get enough replays to make a video on that, but in the meantime, let's kind of go over specifically how you guys can use it here at Town Hall 10. So the thing is with this attack, you want to try and make sure to funnel your heroes and also your wall wrecker and your Pekkas into the base. Now this is going to really be dependent. Usually you want at least 1-2 Pekkas to go into the base with your wall wrecker and at least your king. If your queen goes out, just make sure that the baby dragon or whatever is actually going to be going over to the queen and not over to the rest of the kill squad that can't target air. So that's sort of the idea. Now with this, what you really want to try and make sure that you do is find the entry point. So if we take a look at where the town hall is and we kind of just draw a line here, we can see where we can get some key objectives. We can get the wizard towers, we can open up to get, the multi-inferno, we can get the king, queen, and CC, and it looks like there's a lot of good value from that spot. We can even get a bomb tower there as well. And since in this example, the queen won't go into the base, we are going to be able to take out this bomb tower as well. That's even more value here for us in terms of this attack. Now, sometimes, or actually most of the time with any hog attack, you don't want your queen to go onto the outside. In this case, that's what happened, but in terms of this attack, you really want to try and make sure to keep that queen on the inside as much as possible. So that's really the biggest thing. Now, you already know what the key objectives are going to be anyways. The CC, queen, multi-inferno, any other splash buildings like the bomb tower and the wizard towers. Those are important. And if you can get the king, that's perfectly fine, and that's a really good thing to get as well, but it's not required. The other thing that you're going to be getting with this attack is pathing. So that's another thing that's really, really important to consider. Now with this attack, you may want to use Pekkas and also some wizards to set one side of the funnel, and then using Pekkas and wizards on the other side to set the funnel. You want to try and use at least 2 Pekkas, and as far as I would say, maybe like 1 or 2 wizards, so that then you can clear both sides. This then allows you to start moving in over to where the town hall is. So that's sort of the idea with this. Now, sometimes you may not get all the way over to the town hall. That's completely fine, because you don't want to get as deep into the base as any other hog attack. With this, you're specifically looking for the queen, you want to try and get the inferno, and you want to try and get as many of the other pieces of value as well. Don't forget the CC. Now with this, you really want to try and make sure that you use the max poison on the CC. In this case, he used both poisons. However, if you are in that predicament, especially if it's a fresh hit, it might be a better idea to actually start off by using the max poison on the CC and then the regular poison on the back end skellies. So that's going to be really up to you and how you guys attack with this attack, or with this attack strategy. Now, when you guys are using your heals and your hogs, make sure that you're sort of surgically placing them in. You can also spam them if you like. It doesn't really matter. In terms of heal spells, though, heal them over multi-infernos and also other splash buildings and lots of point defenses. This includes things like expo farms. This also includes the giant bombs. This even also includes Tesla farms. So the idea is you really want to try and make sure to heal up your hogs just enough so that then they can get through good portions of the base. Now remember, sometimes there may be giant bombs on the back end of the base and you may have no more heals. So you got to really take that into account as well, because sometimes that may happen and you have no idea if you're going to lose all your hogs, so that then you'll have no hogs for cleanup and you could lose based on time. But again, kind of up to you and your personal preference. But with this attack, it's 100%. You really want to try and kind of follow what I'm saying here within this one. So it gives you guys a good idea of what you're supposed to be looking for. So let's go ahead and take a look at another example with this attack. So if we go ahead and take a look at this base design right here, the first thing that I see is that if we go ahead and funnel this out and funnel this side out, we can actually go ahead and use the stone slammer right here to open up the core of the base. This will give us access to both of the bomb towers, the queen, the CC, and the king. It also gives us access to 2 wizard towers and a multi-inferno. Plus, we're going to be able to get a lot of good pathing out of this. So this is something that you really want to take a look at, because specifically you want to try and get as much value as possible with your bowlers from the wall wrecker, your heroes, and your Pekkas. Remember, you want at least one to 2 of your Pekkas going in. If more go in, then that is even better. So usually you want at least 1 or 2 plus to go in. But then you want to use at least 2 of them to set the funnel. And then if they start moving their way in, then that is even better. So definitely with an attack like this, you really want to try and make sure that you can get everything to move into the base. That is the specific idea. So as you're moving into the base, you can then actually send in your heroes once you know that the wall wrecker pathing is already, founded and placed down. So the queen isn't going to start walking onto the outside. So specifically, you can see here is that the queen is walking this way. However, she will not walk over to the archer tower and will continue to move this way. That is the idea, using the max poison on the CC. Like I said before, it's a very, very good way of doing so. And then you can actually start sending in your hogs as you start to move through. On this base design here, what we can take a look at is that we have the hogs going in this way, while we have all of this still up, or as far as I should say, all of this still up. That means that the Pekkas are really moving in this direction, while the hogs are going to go around like this. It's a little bit easier in terms of knowing exactly the pathing of the hogs as they move through. That is what's really important. Now, with this, again, making sure that you heal over those giant bombs, those multi-infernos, and all those point defenses, especially like what you saw there, a mini Tesla farm, and there was a giant bomb there. Actually, there were 2 giant bombs there. And you could really see how important it is to heal over specific defenses. And as they move into the next expo compartment, you can see that they're all red, but then you start to heal them up and they should be back at full health. That is the idea with the hogs. You want to be able to make sure that the hogs get healed up as they move through. Now, the poison spell was used just in case there were any ground skellies on the back end. Now, sometimes you will have to deal with that. Other times, like here, you won't, because sometimes they're actually placed near the entry point. So usually you want to try and use your non-max poison in order to deal with the skellies on the back end, or whenever those hogs are really getting close to the end of the attack, cleaning up all those defenses and stuff. So now let's go ahead and move on to the final example we have here for you guys. So if we go ahead and take a look at this base design here, it's very, very easy to get to the queen and the CC. Since they're in the core of the base, this gives us relative ease on just using the wall wrecker to get into the core of the base and get something. Now, if we take a look at this, most likely what we can probably do is, if we break into the core, we have access to this multi-inferno, even if it's only the bowlers. That's a good thing, because we should be able to get rid of that multi very quickly. The other thing is, This replay shows an example of nothing going in right. None of the Pekkas are going in. They either die before they can get there, or they wander onto the outside, and the queen wanders onto the outside as well. So this gives you guys a good example of what happens if nothing goes right. As long as you have the wall wrecker going in with the bowlers, and as long as you use the heal and the rage spell with them, you should be perfectly fine. Now just remember that in terms of a wall wrecker entry, if the town hall was over here and you were entering into here, I don't think you would probably want to enter into there. You're dealing with the king, you're dealing with cannons, you're dealing with expos. That's a lot of DPS there. So in terms of this, you want to try and look for an area of lower DPS. And taking a look at it from this side shows you that there isn't as much DPS than the other side. This then kind of offers you just that tad bit more value, even if your wall wrecker is the only thing that goes ahead and gets the queen and CC. In terms of a hog-based design, this is something that is very similar to like it. You got to take a look at the spacing, you got to take a look at, where are those possible giant bomb spots and all of that. Now, when your queen does not enter into the base, you will have to use both poison spells, specifically because you do not have the queen to support your wall wrecker going through, and especially if it's a baby dragon CC. So when it's a baby dragon, then you really want to try and just use both poisons as a precaution. Like you see right here, nothing is going in right. Using the poison on the queen and also on the CC, getting rid of all that, we now have access over to the queen, and we even have access to the multi-inferno after we use the heal and the rage. This gives us a lot of value there from just this hog portion. And then we can actually start sending the hogs straight into the base as we start to move in this way. And we will basically just have these hogs start moving in like this, in this direction, even though some will split over to the air defense and stuff like that. It's specifically a good example here. In order to keep those hogs alive, you got to make sure that you're healing them even if they're not going over to the multi-inferno. If a multi-inferno is being tanked by some other hogs, then it may be a good idea already to go ahead and use the heal spell with the hogs that have mostly a majority of the group. Make sure that you're healing them over groups, because just healing up, a couple of them on a specific defense, just like where you saw there with the Inferno, doesn't really offer as much value as the group. So you got to make sure that you're healing up the group instead of just healing up a small portion. So that's going to do it, guys, for the video. Hopefully you guys did learn something from this. And if you guys did enjoy, why not leave a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my guides. Feel free to also join the Humanity Family Discord. I'm going to leave a link down in the description for it. And feel free to join any of the other clan families that I'm covering. I will leave a link also to all of their Discords in the description. Now, also feel free to join my community Discord and follow my Twitter. Both of those are links that are in the description below. With that being said, that's going to do it, guys, for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.